Hi, this video is the second video about solving retirement problem with Excel spreadsheet. Previous video provide the timetable for the cash flows in this retirement account. Now we want to calculate the present value of these cash flows in the retirement account. Before we calculate the present value, or before we do this discounting calculation, first, we want to know the discount rate for this problem. Let's go back to the original problem. So in this problem, we consider the nominal interest rate to be 9%. So let's write down the nominal interest here. It is 9%. We consider, if with no specific description, we consider the inflation rate to be 0. Then we want to calculate the real interest rate. Remember, the equation for real interest rate is 1 plus nominal interest rate over 1 plus inflation rate minus 1, because we want to use the percentage. So then it will be 9% interest as the real interest rate. Now we want to calculate the present value factor. Remember the discounting calculation and the present value factor function equation. It will be 1 over 1 plus the discount rate and to the power of number of periods. Here I want to emphasize when we replicate the calculation for this present value factor, we want to make the discount rate to be fixed as the cell value of B7. So we want to insert the dollar symbol here. So then when we do the extended calculation, the discount rate will always be the cell value of B7. But the number of periods will change based on the value of the cells in the row 10. Okay, so now let's do the extended calculation for the cell D16. It will be 0.8417. So it is the discount factor calculated based on the discount rate of B7 and the number of periods of D10. Okay. You can do the extended calculation to the end of year 60, but also you can wait. Let's wait and see what we can do. Now I want to calculate the present value of cash flow 1 year later. So it will be the cash flow multiplied by the present value factor. So it will be $0 today, because the cash flow 1 year later is 0. Now if I do the extended calculation to the cell value of D18, it will also be 0. We can do the extended calculation for multiple rows together. So now if we replicate the calculation to the year 60, we can calculate the present value factor for each time point, and also the present value of cash flow at every year end. For example, for year 50, the retirement account want to provide $550,000 to the outside. The present value factor will be 0.0134. So the present value of cash flow is $7,397. Okay. Now I want to calculate the total present value of these whole strings of cash flow. So it will be the sum of the row in the row 18. Just choose the area you want to do the sum calculation. So it will be $22,248 as the total present value of the combined cash flows for this retirement account. Now I want to introduce the functions in Excel. It is very similar to the online financial calculator. if we open an Excel document, the typical interface we have is like this. Now we go to the formula block and find the symbol of function here. Okay, let's go to the cell of C22. The cell value of C22 will be calculated with the Excel function. We go to the symbol of function in the right up side. And if we click the function symbol, then we can have an interface like this. You will see an search area for functions here. So in this area, you can type the keywords for your function, for example, payment. Then we can click the Go button and say the functions we can use. I will select the PMT function to calculate the payment for annuity. And then we calculate OK. We will have an interface like this. This interface is very similar to the online financial calculator. You input the key parameters at each block. For example, for rate here, it will be the real interest rate, that is the cell value of B7. The periods here, we want to use 30 years in calculating this annuity. The present value of this annuity we want to have is $22,248. So then we can click the OK to calculate the payment for this annuity. It will be $2,165.50. It is the exact number we calculated with online financial calculator in previous course. Okay, now I want to provide more details about functions in Excel spreadsheet. So, for example, if I want to use the function of Excel spreadsheet to calculate the number of periods, I can also use the similar process. Let's choose one cell to calculate the number of periods. We go to the symbol function and we input the keywords of the calculation we want to do. For example, we want to do the periods, that is MPER, and we click the Go to search for the functions we can use. Then we click the MPER function and click the OK button. You see we have a similar interface for calculating the number of periods. We input the key parameters here. For the discount rate, let's choose 9%. For the payment, let's choose $2,165. For the present value, let's choose $22,248. Then we can calculate the payment. This payment, then we can calculate the number of periods. So for this number of periods, if it equals to 30, then given a payment at $2,165, given the discount rate to be 9%, this 30 period annuity have the present value as $22,247. Click OK. So we can see that if we want to solve an equation, in this equation you require the payment to be $2,165, the present value to be $22,248, the discount rate to be 9%. Then the equation solver will give you 30 periods as the number of periods to reach this requirement. Thanks.